Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into LinkedIn, but we're not talking about just updating your resume. We're talking about how to turn your LinkedIn presence into a serious, powerful tool for building your reputation and, honestly, your business influence.
So let's just start with a really direct question, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Is everything you're doing on LinkedIn right now actually building your reputation? Or is it kind of just adding to all the noise out there? The goal here is to give you a framework so you know every single thing you do is building that influence, not just shouting into the wind. Okay, so the very first step is a really important mindset shift. We absolutely have to stop thinking of LinkedIn as just another social network. Platforms like Instagram, they're built for entertainment, for distraction. LinkedIn, that's a business stage. The people there, your audience, they're not looking to kill time. They're looking for real insights, for real opportunities. And that, right there, is the core difference. On most social media, the whole game is about getting as much exposure as possible, right? The most views, the most likes. But on this professional stage, the most valuable currency isn't exposure at all. It's trust. Trust is what actually turns someone who's just scrolling into a real client or a valuable partner. I love this quote because it's so true. Trust isn't something you build overnight with one viral post. No way. It's built super methodically, one brick at a time. Every single piece of content you share, every thoughtful comment you leave, that's another brick you're adding to that wall of trust with your audience. So that brings us to the big practical question, right? If trust is the goal, what's the actual game plan? How do we go from just talking about this to actually doing it, to laying those bricks in a way that really works? Well, it really boils down to this clear four-part framework. Number 1, share what you actually know. 2, show people how you do what you do, your process. 3, be consistent. You gotta show up. And 4, create a real dialogue. It's not a monologue. These 4 pillars, they're the bedrock of a real trust-building strategy. All right, so we've got the 4 pillars. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's look at the specific kinds of content that really bring those pillars to life. This is how you turn that high-level strategy into a content plan you can literally start using tomorrow. The first rule for trust-building content is to get super specific. Stop talking about vague stuff like market trends. Start talking about the real, tangible challenges that your audience is actually dealing with every single day. When you can articulate their problem even better than they can, you instantly build credibility and trust. It's that simple. And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Market trends is just generic noise, but discussing the friction between the dev and marketing teams, oh yeah, that is a real, super relatable problem for so many people. Content like this proves you're not just some observer on the sidelines, you're in the trenches with them, and you get it. Next up, you've got to pull back the curtain. Look, people don't just want to see the shiny, polished final result. They trust what they can understand. So when you show your process, the decisions you made, the debates you had, maybe even the mistakes along the way, it makes everything you do feel more human, more transparent, and way more authentic. It takes the mystery out of it. And this is especially true for case studies. A weak case study just says, hey, we did a thing and the client was happy. A strong one, it tells a story. You set the scene, you define the real challenge they were facing, you walk through the key decisions you made, and, this is huge, you share the lessons you learned. It becomes a story about solving a problem, not just a sales pitch. Okay, our third content principle is all about how you communicate. When you're announcing a new product or some kind of update, please don't lead with the technical specs. Lead with the human reason it exists. You need to frame it as a solution to a problem your audience actually has. And that is the magic trick right there, that reframing. Instead of just shouting, new feature, the message becomes, we heard you were struggling with X, so we built this thing to make your job easier. See the difference? You just transformed a dry announcement into an act of empathy, and that deepens the relationship like you wouldn't believe. So what's the end game here? What's the ultimate payoff for doing all of this? Well, when you consistently apply these principles, you totally change how people see you on the platform. You shift from being just another advertiser to becoming a genuine industry influencer. Think about it. An advertiser just pushes their message out, hoping anyone will listen. An influencer, though, they build a community around shared knowledge and value. They don't have to shout because people are already leaning in to hear what they have to say. And let's be crystal clear. This isn't about ego or vanity metrics. The business outcomes are real,
and they are significant. You stop getting a high volume of random, irrelevant leads, and you start getting high-quality inquiries from people who already trust you. You're not just another vendor they're getting a quote from. You're seen as a thought leader, as a trusted partner.
So if you only take one single thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. Stop thinking about your LinkedIn activity as a series of short-term campaigns. Every post, every comment, every interaction, it's another sentence and the ongoing story of your brand. It's a long-term story that you are writing out loud in public.
And that just leaves us with one final and I think really important question for you to think about. Go look at your profile right now, your posts, your comments. What story is your brand telling? Is it a story of value, of expertise, and of trust? Or is it just noise? The choice is totally up to you.